Welcome, my friend, to a new Real Conversations episode from English Plus Podcast, where we explore the fascinating world of national holidays and their significance in different cultures. But of course, in the form of a real conversation that we listen to first and then we dissect later. So first, let's dive into a classroom discussion that highlights these cultural gems.
Good morning, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about national holidays and traditions. Let's start with holidays in the U.S. Does anyone know a major American holiday?
Is Thanksgiving a major one?
Absolutely, Luis. Thanksgiving is a significant holiday in the U.S. Can anyone tell me what it celebrates?
It celebrates the harvest and other blessings of the past year, right?
Exactly, Maria. And what are some typical traditions on Thanksgiving?
Families gather for a big meal and they usually have turkey, right?
Correct. The turkey dinner is a classic tradition. Now, let's compare it with holidays in other countries. Does anyone want to share a holiday from their home country?
In my country, Nigeria, we celebrate Independence Day on October 1st. It's a day of national pride.
Interesting, Amina. How do people usually celebrate it?
There are parades, dancing, and lots of traditional music and food.
That sounds wonderful. What about a holiday in Japan, Kenji?
We have the Cherry Blossom Festival, or Hanami. People enjoy the cherry blossoms in parks and have outdoor parties.
That's a beautiful tradition. And how about in Brazil, Luis?
We have Carnival. It's a huge festival with parades, music, and dancing in the streets. It's very colorful and lively.
Carnival sounds like a lot of fun. Now, let's discuss how holidays can reflect a country's culture. Maria, can you think of an example?
Well, in Mexico, we have Day of the Dead. It shows our view of death as a natural part of life and involves honoring our ancestors.
That's a great example of a holiday reflecting cultural values. To wrap up, holidays and traditions are important as they often represent a nation's history, culture, and values. They bring people together and can be a lot of fun. For your homework, please research a national holiday in a country of your choice and prepare a short presentation about it for our next class.
Now let's start with Mr. Thompson, the teacher, setting the stage for the discussion. He says, "Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to talk about national holidays and tradition." Well, this clear introduction is key in guiding the topic for the discussion, which is obvious, of course, but it is important. Then Luis asked about a major American holiday, and he said, "Is Thanksgiving a major one?" Well, this is a great example of seeking confirmation when you're unsure about something. And that happens when you go to a place and you're not very sure about the traditions or customs or holidays. You can ask for more information. Maria adds to the conversation by explaining what Thanksgiving celebrates. She said, "It celebrates the harvest and other blessings of the past year," right? Now here Maria uses the present simple tense, which is perfect for describing general truths or habitual actions. And notice how she said right at the end, and this is like, I'm pretty sure that this is what it is, but is that correct? You can seek confirmation if you're not 100% sure of something. Because after all, it's a discussion, and it's completely normal to ask for confirmation at the end, like Maria did. Now, Kenji brings in the aspect of traditions associated with Thanksgiving by saying families gather for a big meal, and they usually have turkey, right? Again, I know this, but I'm not completely sure if this is the right thing, right? Now, discussing customs like these helps paint a vivid picture of the holiday. Now remember, our focus today is talking about holidays, so here, it's not enough just saying what the holiday is or when it is. It's also important to discuss the customs, the traditions, what we do on this holiday. It's very important for people who are not that familiar with this holiday to know about. And now let's look at how the discussion embraces cultural diversity. Amina shares about Nigeria's Independence Day. She said, "In my country, Nigeria, we celebrate Independence Day on October the 1st. It's a day of national pride." She gives us a glimpse into Nigerian culture with this description. Now, Mr. Thompson then encourages comparing different cultural holidays. He asks Kenji about a holiday in Japan, leading Kenji to describe the Cherry Blossom Festival by saying, "We have the Cherry Blossom Festival, or Hanami. People enjoy the cherry blossoms in parks and have outdoor parties." This comparison broadens the discussion, highlighting cultural diversity. Especially when we talk about holidays and customs, traditions, etc., it's very important to talk about different cultures from different parts of the world, especially when we have people from different parts of the world, so that they feel included, to be inclusive. We just talk about our traditions and then we dismiss others like they don't exist. It's always a good idea to keep a healthy discussion and to have an inclusive discussion to ask about other people's holidays and traditions. We also have Maria bringing in a unique perspective about how holidays reflect cultural values, talking about Mexico's Day of the Dead. She says, it shows our view of death as a natural part of life and involves honoring our ancestors. This is an excellent example of how holidays can represent a nation's cultural values. To wrap up, Mr. Thompson summarizes the discussion and assigns homework, reinforcing the learning and encouraging further exploration. He says holidays and traditions are important as they often represent a nation's history, culture, and values. They bring people together and can be a lot of fun. Well, my friends, this classroom dialogue is a wonderful example of how discussing national holidays and traditions can be both educational and engaging. It showcases the importance of understanding and respecting different cultures and their celebrations. Thank you very much for joining me on a new Real Conversations episode from English Plus Podcast. If you like the episode, please follow me on your favorite podcast listening platform, wherever you're listening right now, obviously, and share my podcast with your friends and family because maybe they will benefit from it too. By this way, you will be helping me reaching more people and you'll be helping those people you love listen to interesting content. And if you want to take it a step further, you can support me on Patreon. The link is in the description. By becoming an English Plus Premium member on my Patreon page, you will be supporting me to create more of this content that you like, but more than that, you will be unlocking access to exclusive content that I share only with my patrons. With that being said, thank you very much for listening to another episode from English Plus Podcast. This is your host, Danny, signing off. I will see you next time.